hit one note with the Ray J. And do not clean this up in post. Go ahead.
Now I have to practice.
Made you put you first. Go ahead.
Why are you making me stutter? Now
go,
I have
Go. We're waiting. The world is waiting.
As a matter of fact, I was the one who said I loved you first. It was about 8 years ago. Don't act like you don't know. We're sitting home in your mama's living room because we couldn't be alone. Yeah.
Okay. Listen.
I can't wait till I hear this back and it's probably not even good, but it sounds good in here.
Y'all better not auto-tune that. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Post Moves. I'm Candace Parker, doing this with my co-host, Aliyah Boston. A reminder to follow us at Post Moves Show on all socials, that's 2 S's, and hit the subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to give us our 5-star reviews. I'm not tooting our own horn or anything, but I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, and new episodes drop every Wednesday, so don't forget to tune in. Hi, you've had a big week.
It's been you had a big no face paint. I thought you were gonna come with like a different vibe today because last week was super great. So I was like,
well, I was coming from the club last week in Mykonos. So if I slurred a couple of my words, and you know what I mean, I'll blame it on the alcohol, the Greek wine. But we had a time. It was my brother's 50th birthday. The whole fam got together, his friends. We had a blast. And
you guys were turning up.
I'm not gonna lie, Aaliyah. Play basketball as long as you can, but this is my first summer. Really my first summer, because we played basketball every summer of our entire lives, if you think about it.
I mean, going back to AAU, you're literally hooping, then you get to college, and then you don't really get a summer break. What even is that? Because summer workouts start.
And it was before NIL, so you didn't have money to travel. So literally, this is my first ever summer. My son was born last summer. I had surgery last summer, so that doesn't count. This summer, it's like big ball and shot calling, jumping off boats, eating amazing food.
Front flip for the win.
It definitely felt better than it looked. I felt like I was Dominique Dawes or Simone Biles when I did it. And
I mean, you kind of looked the part.
It was kind of like my back hit in the water. But anyway, you're back in Indy. You had a long road trip.
We did. We were on the road for 8 days.
You did pretty well. Congrats on Player of the Week last week.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Do you have any update stories? I always like traveling. Those long road trips are tough and grueling, but it really provides camaraderie and
we
laughing on the bus.
Went out for Sid's birthday. We had a team dinner, and then one of the buses was karaoke on the way back. I took the first bus, but they did send us the videos.
What's your karaoke song?
Ooh, I mean, making my way downtown, walking. Okay, sorry. Or I really would do One Wish, because I don't care.
Ray J One Wish?
Ray J One Wish. I know every single lyric from that song, okay? And that is always going to be my go-to. But every time I tell people I'll do One Wish, they're like, I'm like, what's the problem?
Guess what our next live show idea is going to be? We have a karaoke machine, and everybody has to come with their best songs, and we're going to judge it. That's my favorite.
Now you know what song I'm going to do. What's yours?
I'm a little Usher. Okay. I like a little Usher. Hey, Daddy.
Okay,
Daddy's
that's a good
home.
But you were looking crazy at me for One Wish.
No, One Wish is you got to hit a bunch of notes.
Yeah, but you can't hit the notes though.
That's me being my song is Adele. I can't sing
I know
Adele.
my limits, but Ray J, he ate that.
Hit one note with the Ray J. And do not clean this up in post. Chelsea, do not clean this up in post.
I don't think you're really hitting any notes. You're not really hitting any notes in One Wish.
As a matter of fact, sing that part of the Go ahead.
Now I have to practice.
Made you put you first. Go ahead.
Why are you making me stutter? Now I have
Go. We're waiting. The world is waiting.
As a matter of fact, I was the one who said I loved you first. It was about 8 years ago. Don't act like you don't know. We're sitting home in your mama's living room because we couldn't be alone. Yeah.
Okay, listen.
I can't wait till I hear this back and it's probably not even good, but it sounds good in here.
Y'all better not auto-tune that. That was great. Okay, you surprised me a little bit. Now we really are going to have a karaoke.
I'm telling you, and that's
we're
the
gonna have
one.
a karaoke
That's my
party.
song. That's my
All right.
song.
We digressed because clearly that's what we do a lot on the show. It's time for what we want to talk about. Per usual, we got to start with Indiana Fever.
The Thief Show.
I mean, let's get into it. Fever beat the Sky 92-70. You guys have won 5 straight games versus the Sky. You were dominant. 15, 4, 3, 1.
I had more than
2.
1 assist.
I'm really proud of you because that is what I track. I immediately go to assists. Like bump a double-double, I immediately go to assists. You were plus 19, 63% from the field in 24 minutes. Talk about efficiency. You rank 3rd all-time in franchise history with 132 blocks.
Can we also just look, though? Tamika Catchings has 385. Like, I always think it's so funny every time they post, like, a stat. It's like Tamika's at the top, and then everyone else is kind of, like, really close together, and then she's, like, 500 levels above. I love it.
And let's give a huge shout-out to Tammy Sutton-Brown. Played against her. She blocked a couple of my shots. 267 for her. Man, so you all are really locking down defensively, which is something that we talked about before this road trip.
Yeah. I think going in on the road trip, obviously I think our games against Phoenix, like that was just a rough game for us. I think last game on the road trip, that was just pretty hard for us. But I mean, even when we went to Dallas and Seattle, like those were pretty good games defensively. And I feel like that's still our focus, like making sure we can get stops. Because offensively, it's gonna come. We're gonna find it. But defensively, that's our focus.
All right, let's talk about some really tough news for 2 players. For one that is near and dear to my heart, Sydney Colson tore her ACL and will be out for the remainder of the year. And in the same game, if I'm not correct,
yeah,
Aari McDonald, broken bone in her right foot. You hate that for her. She was balling, hooping, really stepping up huge for you all this season, but also just in her career. I mean, she was playing some of the best basketball we've seen her play. So what can you say about how your team plans on responding? And then also just in terms of your teammates, I mean, those are 2 crucial pieces to your Fever team.
I mean, everyone was pretty heartbroken. Like when we found out, there's like a lot of tears. But I think for us, like this whole season has been next woman up. And no matter what happens, like I feel like when we started the season, like people were out, injury here, injury there, coming back in the lineup, out the lineup. And that's kind of how it's been for us this entire season. And it kind of sucks because obviously we were in our groove and everyone had figured out, their place and like how they're going to play. And so for us, it's like, listen, like this sucks. But I think the best thing is that Sydney and Aari, they continue to show up. Like they're there for us. And so for us, just continue to be there for one another, be there for them, but also understand that we're playing for them. Like this being it, that now that they can't finish out the season, technically playing with us, it's like, well, we play for them every time we step on that court.
Well, I'll be honest. It's tough to see Aari go down just because of, like you said, the type of season she was having and her resilience and just her character. And, she was playing some really great basketball. And I think that there's far more basketball ahead of her than behind her. On the other side, Sydney Colson, I believe she is 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone that, knows what it's like to play kind of in your later 30s, it's really tough. And I think my thoughts and my heart goes out to Sydney because of the human she is and the amount of energy she brings to the table. It sucks sitting on the sideline. It sucks missing games. Rehab is grueling. And I think I just challenge you as like a teammate to continue to lift them up because it's not initially like you get a bunch of calls and reach outs and condolences and all that stuff initially, but it's like day 37 when you're sitting on a table by yourself and you have to do your quad sets and rehab, and it sucks. I mean, as somebody that has had 13 surgeries in my career, you don't want to sit on the sideline, and sometimes you go through the emotional ups and downs. So I just challenge you as a teammate, as a leader, to like continue to raise them, lift them up, shoot them text messages randomly when you think of them, because it's not easy. But now you guys played without a true point guard because 2 point guards went down in one game. You all only had 9 players available, and due to WNBA rules, Indy was not able to sign a hardship player until after the game.
Mm-hmm.
So Kelsey and Sophie kind of split position
Yeah.
at the point guard position, which Kelsey is good. I mean, she could play point guard. It's just you want to bring her off screen. She's tough to guard that way. But she's quoted as saying, I think this is the most resilient team I've ever been a part of. And I say that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I agree with her. I agree with her. I think like from the beginning of the season, it was crazy. Like we just talked about, listen, like a season is not going to be perfect. There's going to have its highs and lows. But I feel like for us, in a sense, like we kind of got blessed with some of those lows at the beginning of the season. So it wasn't really much of a shock to us. Like obviously it still always hits home, but we still get up and we show up and we compete every single time. Every single time we say together in that huddle, like we make eye contact and like seriously, like we stick together and that's what we do. And every single time, no matter what happens, we come back up and we keep fighting. And that's kind of been our mindset, our approach every single day. We step on that court and nothing's really changed from that.
You all signed Odyssey Sims, who was
Yes.
actually my teammate with the Sparks in 2017 through 2019. You signed her to a hardship contract.
Mhm.
Most recently, she played for the Sparks. She was averaging 9.8 points, 3.5 assists, and 11 starts. Has she become acclimated? I know she's gotten a couple practices under her belt. Obviously, with Caitlin kind of day to day, understanding how she bounces back from her injury, playing, rest, whatever. What can you say about what is needed from the point guard position?
Yeah, honestly, I think O is gonna be a great fill for us. I think she's quick, she defends, plays both sides of the ball, her ability to score the ball, knocking down threes, being able to get downhill. And then once again, like finding our shooters on the wings. And so that's kind of she's like walking into that spot and sense of like, listen, like we're gonna continue to communicate. I feel like that's just gonna be our biggest thing is making sure that we communicate, make her feel like, listen, no matter what, like we're just out here hooping. And that's kind of how it feels is that every time you step on that floor, it's like be confident in your game and trust yourself and because we trust you.
I always am interested because on this trip, going back to this road trip,
Mhm.
you all had 2 losses, one against
Yep.
Mercury, one against the Sparks. Obviously,
Mhm.
they came later in the road trip when you all were kind
Yeah.
of going through the difficulties of the grueling road trip, but also losing players. You all lost pretty good to the Mercury, 95-60.
Yeah,
And
pretty good.
here's the thing. I think nobody understands that there are some games on your schedule that you're not going in saying you're going to lose, but you are set up to lose because
Yeah, I
of the
mean
scheduling, because of the
timing,
travel,
yeah.
because of the timing, injuries, like whatever it is. But what was it about the Mercury? Was there something specific that they did? You had 4 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, because I really want to talk about it. I don't think people talk about how you bounce back from games like that to then
Yeah.
follow it up with efficiency, with against the Sparks and then against the Sky.
Yeah. I mean, it was just I think once like one we're at the end of the road trip, we were out there for about 8 days. But I feel like sometimes too, like some of the shots just weren't going in. Like we were getting good looks at shots and they just weren't falling. And I think those are like the hardest nights is when your shot just is not falling because you know you're taking good shots. And now you don't want to second guess yourself, but you're also like, dang, why is the shot that I usually take rolling around the rim? Why is it hitting back rim? What are we doing? And it was kind of just one of those nights. And then I think obviously when Sid went down early in that game, it was kind of like, okay, let's focus, like let's try to get back on track. And then it was kind of hard to do that. And honestly, it was one of those games where even after the game, we kind of just flushed it. Like there was really nothing to talk about, like in the sense of like, listen, like obviously we knew there's a lot of things that we need to improve, but I think sometimes too, like just hitting shots changes the whole basketball game. And I think we missed just a lot of shots. Like I know I had a few just front rim just like rolling off and I'm like, okay, I'm like looking at my hands. Like I feel like this is everything that I've been doing consistently. So why is it doing that? And it's just one of those that you kind of just have to brush off and be like, listen, like that was a crappy game, but we knew that we had Chicago coming up and we just had to turn that page. So that's kind of just what we did.
But you personally, like, how do you mentally deal with not having a great outing?
Um, well, during the game, I try not to crash. I'm like, cause I won't even lie to you. Like I know you're
Do you
probably
think
talking
that's
about
your
after the
biggest-
game.
But do you think that's your biggest growth from your first and your second year?
Yes, honestly, this year I think I've grown a lot mentally, and it's funny. My teammates probably especially I'll say like some of the people that haven't played with me are probably looking at me like, dang, this girl kind of crashed out. But I've actually improved a whole lot from rookie season to now. And I feel like that's because I always say like, just, just focus and finish. Just focus and finish. Like you're focusing, so finish it. So when that doesn't happen, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But most of the time, I just try to give my energy into something else, kind of take my mind off it. And then after the game, like I'm somebody that goes back and I want to watch my shots. Like I want to look at the release. I want to look at my footwork. I want to look at my positioning. And that's kind of what I do. Even sometimes I definitely crash out then though. Because I'm like, wow, rewatching it just makes you like, because the film doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just makes you just like, you're like, what? Like, like sometimes you just want to, but you can't. The game's over.
It's so difficult, especially when you do all the right things, and then the next game you may have a shooting slump, or you may struggle from the free throw line, or something like that. And I think I get most mad at the controllables.
Yes.
And not controlling the controllables. And I think that's the way out of a slump. And slumps only happen when mentally you allow it to happen.
Yeah.
I think people forget that sometimes, Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of our entire lifetime and generations to come, has slumps. So if he can, I think all of us can learn from that and his mentality of what's a good shot and continuing to buy into like staying consistent. So kudos to you, man. Growth in your third year.
Yeah,
look at you. Proud vet right here. Look at you.
After we won the national championship in 2022, I saw you, Candace, in the crowd, and I just grabbed the mic and said it. I love you, girl.
And I felt that because I saw myself in you, the joy, the pressure, the entire journey.
You've always been someone that I've looked up to, and hearing you say, you got this, that meant more to me than you probably even know.
That's what Adidas is all about. The You Got This campaign is a reminder that support, even one moment, one voice, can change everything.
Whether it's a coach, a teammate, a friend, sometimes it just takes someone reminding you who you are.
We've both had those people, and now we're trying to be that for someone else.
Learn more about the You Got This message at adidas.com/yougotthis and follow along at Adidas and at Adidas US. This episode is brought to you by Smucker's Uncrustables. There's a reason classics don't go out of style. PB&J, no crust, no mess, no notes. Check out Uncrustables, the best part of the sandwich.
It's a round, crimped sandwich made with soft, pillowy bread filled with peanut butter and jelly. Grab one from the freezer. Let it thaw while you do your thing on the court, in the carpool, or whatever hustle you're on. This snack is for pro goats, little legends, and everyone in between. Find Smucker's Uncrustables in the freezer aisle. Learn more at Uncrustables.com. Speaking of growth, let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell.
Big Kelsey.
Let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell. And let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell in the same conversation with the letters MVP. And I say that because one of our greats in our league, Tamika Catchings, Indiana Fever.
Yeah. Legend.
Everything.
Are you kidding me?
Legend. She said, and I quote, "Gonna need y'all to say her name when talking about MVP." Dawn Staley, your college coach, also called out Kelsey as an MVP contender. At her career high, she is averaging this year 19.9 points per game this season. She's leading scorer this season with 637 points. Her 17th 20-point game of the season, and is now tied for second most in the league. Most three-point makes since the All-Star break at 29. She has been on an absolute tear.
Yeah. She has been. It was crazy. We did like post-practice media, and everybody's asking about Kelsey, and I'm like, Kelsey is dominating. Kelsey's putting up crazy numbers, and I think what's also standing out too is Kelsey's assist numbers are also going up. Like I think she had a career high assist the other night against Chicago, and when you look at it, it's like she's passing that ball. Why? Because all the teams are like, okay, we got to get the ball out of her hands. And she's doing a great job of finding everyone. And then that kind of opens up the floor again, because now you're like, well, they just hit the pocket, so I can't come up too high. But if you don't come up too high, she's going to knock it down. So it's like, you got to pick your poison. I feel like they really haven't made the right choice with the poison, but also Kelsey scoring that ball at such a high level. I think her focus and just all the work that she's continued to put in, like you're seeing it. And so definitely she needs to be in those conversations, because when you think about like her importance to the squad, the numbers she's putting up, I mean, it's undeniable.
Well, what was so interesting is, she's always been circled on the scouting report.
Yeah.
Like she's always been the topic of conversation at shoot around for the Indiana Fever. It's just in years past, you all were not on the map. You all were not winning. And so I feel like she's kind of like that quiet assassin that has continued to work on her craft and better it, but also now she's stacking wins. And I'm telling you, when Kaylin gets back, it's going to be scary from a backcourt standpoint because the two of them with the ball in their hands, without the ball.
That's a threat.
And as a post player, your eyes have to light up because if there's that much attention from the backcourt,
they're going to find you.
If you set screens, if you set early drags in transition, I mean, the sky's the limit of what you all are able to accomplish. The WNBA, let's talk about the WNBA as a whole. And in terms of the season picking up, let's just say the least. I remember August was always the month where we had the most amount of games and the most amount of every other day we played, and sometimes back-to-backs and
that's
4 games and 7 nights and all of that. And I think injuries are becoming more common in the WNBA, and teams playing without their number one players in recent games are Indiana, Caitlin Clark, Dallas, Paige, Atlanta, Ryan Howard, who actually came back on Sunday. Minnesota, Nafisa Collier, where Minnesota got that huge win against New York at New York. New York is actually missing Brianna Stewart. She's been out with a bone bruise. Golden State, Kayla Thornton out for the year, which they were having
great season,
amazing season until that point. Chicago, Angel Reese has been out for some time. So what do you think the uptick in injuries is a result of?
I mean, it's hard, but I definitely think, obviously, like you said, like we play like every other day, every 2 days, you have back-to-backs, like 4 games in 7 days with traveling. Like our bodies are just kind of feeling it. But I also think it's great for us as players to once again prioritize that, because this is not just for this season. Like you want to make sure for your career in the long run that you're taking care of your bodies. So it's definitely hard, I feel like, playing without your teammates, especially for us playing without C. But you just got to keep going.
I just always feel like the same amount of time to add, like you all are playing 8 more games than I played when I retired. Do you realize that? That's when I left, games. It was 36. And then that year I retired, it moved to 40. And now it's at 44.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, in the same amount of time frame, it's not allowing rest and recovery, which is, every league has its issues with scheduling conflicts and timing and trying to hit dates and appease, media and, obviously television contracts and things like that. But I think it's interesting seeing all of these injuries. And then also now from last year's press conference, hearing Kathy Engelberg say that now the finals is going to be a best of 7, which... we saw the finals last year, which was phenomenal. I think it was some of the best finals we've had. Great series. Game 3, they were tired. Game 4, they were exhausted. So I've got to think that there's got to be some sort of balance. Obviously pushing the game forward and adding more games to the schedule, but also
having that balance of recovery.
Having that balance of recovery because you need your stars to play. You need your stars on the floor.
I agree.
Okay, I'm glad you agree. Mystics, big trades at trade deadline. Mystics trade all-star Brittney Sykes to the Storm.
I was shocked.
Were you?
I remember because we got out of shoot around and we're like scrolling on Twitter and it's like Sykes traded to, I was like, oh, good morning. Good morning. Whatever happened to how are you,
Well, in that trade, Mystics receive 3-time WNBA champion Aliyah Clark, Zaya Cook, and a 2026 first-round draft pick. It also seems like Brittney Sykes requested the trade via her IG posts. She said, P.S., making decisions for yourself is a hell of a liberating feeling. I know you've never been traded, and, I've never been traded either. But at the same time, I think going to a new situation, especially the Storm are struggling. They're struggling right now. So what do you think that Brittney Sykes can bring to the Storm, which are already locking down defensively? I mean, let's talk about Malonga. She had a big double-double against Asia Wilson.
Finding that groove.
Last game. And so What can you say about what Brittney Sykes can bring to the Storm with only a handful of games remaining in the season?
Yeah, honestly, I think Brittney Sykes, like her athleticism, and I think her ability to get downhill, make defenses have to collapse because they don't want her to just get downhill, and her ability to pass the ball, which allows for Nneka to get wide open threes, Gabby to get wide open shots, Skylar. So I definitely think that's probably what they're looking at. I mean, they recently played against the Sparks actually, and I think she had 27 or 21 or 27 and knocking down threes, getting downhill, getting to the free throw line. Like I think her ability, she's super crafty. She's a crafty guard, she's a quick guard, keeps people on their toes. So I feel like that's probably what the Storm's looking at. Another threat from that guard position.
100%. I think she's a great point of attack defender.
Yeah.
I mean, Brittney Sykes, you almost don't need a defensive coverage. She's going to get through the screen. She's going to be able to stay man up. You're not going to have to switch. So I think she could definitely help the Storm, but the Storm have to figure out how to generate something on the offensive end, to be honest with you. Because I think defensively they've been in games. They've been able to kind of control the tempo, but on the offensive side, they have to figure out how to stay in it in that fourth quarter because they've lost some really tight ones to the Sparks, to the Aces, and all of that. The Mystics seem like they're kind of going into rebuild mode as they traded Aaliyah Edwards to Connecticut Sun in exchange for Jacy Sheldon and a first-round pick swap in 2026. The fifth and sixth picks in the 2024 WNBA draft have now switched teams. And you look at them and it's like Georgia Amore, she was out at the start of the season with an ACL tear, so she'll be back next year. It seems like the Mystics have kind of leaned into playing their draft picks in Sonia as well as Kiki. They seem like they're a dynamic duo. I just look for them to try to figure out some vet. And I think that's why they brought Alicia Clark back into the fold. Because as you know, you got to do it with some vets.
Yes, you need good bets, and you need vets that have won. That's what I think is super crucial. Is having
Clark
vets
is
that
both.
know exactly.
She's both.
That knows their role, embraces their role, knows how to win what it takes to win. I feel like that's the best thing that a young core needs.
100%. Another, I would say, debate in the world of WNBA is Rookie of the Year. And honestly, this is quite surprising for a lot of people. Paige versus Sonia. Paige has missed a couple games. She's missed 7 games, but head-to-head, their stats are 22.5 points for Sonia, 18.5 for Paige, 8 rebounds for Sonia, 6 for Paige, 4 assists for Sonia, 5 assists for Paige. Obviously, that's just head-to-head. Overall stats, Paige Bueckers gets the nod with 18.5, Sonia at 14.8. So I say all that Paige still leads rookies in every pretty much major category and remains the favorite for Rookie of the Year. But could Sonia in August make things a little bit interesting?
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And everyone that has to vote is going to have a fun job doing that. But I think it's great. Like I love seeing when rookies come into the league and they continue to do what they do best. Score the ball, play defense, whatever it is. And I feel like both Sonia and Paige are killing it. Like they really are. And even Kiki, like I think just their presence, just coming in with that confidence of like, listen, like I know this is new, but we're still hoopers. Like this is what we do. And I feel like that's the best mindset to have. And you can tell that that's the mindset they did have.
Well, again, Sonia is like, listen, everybody had you as a preseason Rookie of the Year favorite. Paige.
Here I am.
The last 6 games, she is putting it up for debate. 19.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.8 steals. She's kind of doing it all, but obviously Paige is just so calm, cool, and collected. I think the only unfavorable kind of check on Paige's side is that she has missed 7 games. There are no such rules in the WNBA of an amount of games that you have to play to be eligible for postseason awards like there are in the NBA. But back in July, Paige became the first player in WNBA history to total 350 points, 100 assists in the first 20 games of their career. And so Paige is having herself a season. I think it's just a matter of her being on the court is what all of us, want to see. So this could be interesting. I think I give the nod to Paige Bueckers for Rookie of the Year, but Sonia, make me change my ways. Aaliyah, before we move on, I got to talk about this moment from the CBS broadcast the other night. There's Coach
Uh-oh.
Dawn Staley on the mic. I mean, she's going to put you on the spot. That's what coaches do.
She always puts me on the spot. I'm like, you never just ask a regular question. You never just ask a regular question.
Play the clip.
I got another question, though.
No, stop it.
Got another question. You got the podcast with Candace.
How long they got your mic on? How long they got your mic on?
You got the podcast with Candace. When is the signature shoe coming out?
When is the signature shoe? You just gotta wait.
We gotta wait. So is it production?
It's on the way. It's on the way. It's on the way. It's on the way.
All right. Last question for me.
No. You're done with questions.
No.
Oh, I love Coach Staley. I love her.
And here's the thing that I love about Coach Staley. She's not satisfied with one player having a signature shoe that she coached.
No, she's not.
She wants two. And I love that because I think that's pushing the game forward, honestly. And I think we're going to, as the president of Adidas women's basketball.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I love how I'm sitting here like, man, I wonder how. We're going to do some talking off of the mic.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what we can come up with. But I think we'll have a lot of those moments as Coach Staley has agreed to join us on our podcast.
Yes.
So I cannot wait to be able to just kind of like turn the mic on and see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be great because she's literally going to sit there and we're going to be going back and forth. And I'm going to be like, you know what? You're done. Your episode's
I can't wait
done.
to hear Aliyah Boston crash out stories. That's the first question I'm going to ask. Because a college Aliyah Boston? You're talking about a rookie Aliyah Boston? Come on out.
When I was ready to buy my first home, I really didn't know where to start. But from the moment I connected with Zillow, the process was honestly easier than I expected.
Wait, you bought a house? Okay, homeowner. Look at you, AB. Big moves, post moves. But for real, buying a home is a big deal. You need someone you can trust, and Zillow helps with all of that.
Yeah, and they connected me with my girl Amy, my Zillow partner agent, and she was awesome. From the first conversation, she really just listened. She asked me about everything, how many bedrooms I wanted, square footage, style, interior vibe, all of it. So when it was time to start touring homes, she already had a list that just felt like me.
That's a game changer. So she really helped you narrow it down, huh?
Yeah, I probably toured like over 10 houses in like 3 to 4 days. I didn't really love the first few, but Amy said she just wanted to get a feel for what I liked and what I didn't like. And then boom, the next days were spot on. I had options. She answered all my questions, made the whole thing so much easier. Honestly, anytime I buy a home again, I know who I'm calling, my girl Amy.
Whether you're buying your first place or already know the ropes, Zillow makes the process way easier.
They help me get a home, and they can help you too. Just say the word.
Download the Zillow app today. Home just got real with Zillow.
All right, it is time for Order in the Court, where we keep things real about something stirring up for conversation on or off the court. So there's been a lot of clips going viral from DT's new documentary where she talks about having to play overseas after the WNBA season just to make a living. So I wanted to ask if you can shed some light on what it's really like playing overseas.
Well, I played overseas for 10 years. I actually was Diana Taurasi's teammate in Yekaterinburg, Russia. And I played 6 seasons in Russia. I played 2 seasons in China. And I played 1 season for Fenerbahce in Turkey and Istanbul, actually. And I will say that I have to agree. Diana Taurasi expressed her frustration and why she had to play overseas after the WNBA season due to low salaries. She's quoted as saying, "I'm the best player in the world and I have to go to a communist country to get paid like a capitalist." I say all that to say that at that time, I agree with her that the WNBA was a summer job. That was a supplementary income. I also say that through the WNBA, you obviously, if you're one of the top players in the world, you get endorsements, but the opportunity to go make millions overseas was just too enticing. And the way that you take care of your family is you go overseas. And that's what she's quoted as saying. It used to be the top 4 or 5 players in women's basketball had 1 or 2 brand deals. I came out of school and I remember I signed with Gatorade and I signed with Adidas. And, obviously there were others that trickled in, but not being visible for the months that you actually had a flexible schedule while you were overseas playing basketball did kind of hurt from the endorsement side as well. I will say this. It was a shame that we had to go overseas to make the type of money that we had, or that we were able to. But I also say that overseas was some of the most memorable experience I could have had. I mean, how many teams can say that they had a roster of Diana Taurasi, myself, Sue Bird, Deanna Nolan, Ann Waters, Sandrine Gruda. I mean, we had literally some of the best inter-squad scrimmages there were. But the fact that literally the season went in the WNBA from April to October, and then you got 14 days, and then from October to May, you went overseas, and then you had to negotiate with your WNBA team because the WNBA would be like, we want you at training camp day one.
Yeah.
So the rule was from the time you touched down, it was usually, maybe a couple days. There was one time I got off the plane and played the next day. It was ring night.
What?
So I say all that to say that we're in a great space. I think that the endorsements have stepped up their game, and now players are able to make money off the court more. But I don't know if on the court has stepped up their game.
Well, I'm glad you shared that. For me, I feel like I've been blessed to not have to go overseas in my 3 seasons, but I think a big part of that too, you talked about like that visibility, being able to do different stuff, have different deals, have different endorsements where you don't have to do that, and you're able to make money a different way and kind of just give your body a little bit more time. Because obviously I did Unrivaled this past year, and we started in January, so it was nice to get those little few months where it was kind of just you're just training before you actually get back into hoops. Because honestly, once Unrivaled starts, your season's basically here. It's like, I don't know where the time goes as fast as it goes, but once you're done, it's like you're back in Indy and you're training before the season starts.
I think Unrivaled is amazing because you're able to stay stateside and not feel like you're in a foreign country. The challenge was the body element. I mean, the amount of beat up on your body, there was no time to ever get better.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing it during the season. That 6 to 8 weeks where you're like, okay, I want to work on this. I want to work on this. I'm going to drill this. I'm going to get in better shape. I'm going to do all those things. But you're really trying to just recover. And then you're going straight into another season full force. And that was a challenge for me personally, is just balancing, trying to make sure that I'm taking care of my beat up body, but also trying to get better at my craft in the process. So I'm happy for y'all that you all are able to stay stateside and, make income. But I really do challenge, the WNBA to step their game out. Because in Russia, we had chefs, we had amazing apartments, we had drivers, we flew charter. We traveled around Europe as the number 1 team, and were compensated as such.
Yeah.
I mean, my black diamonds are from Russia. They were given to me as a birthday gift. My daughter got black diamonds. I got a Rolex watch. I mean, the amount of gifts that I got from our owners in Russia, and I think that it just makes you feel welcome, and it makes you feel like you are one of the top players and you're treated as such.
Yeah. Okay, last question about overseas. Which country was the most challenging to play in, and why?
I really had a culture shock in China. And that was actually my last time going overseas. I mean, in Russia, it was different because as an American, you hear all of these things about how Russia doesn't like Americans and, speaking the language. And I was bringing my, 7-month-old baby for the first time over to Russia when I first went. So it had its challenges, but overall, you could get by. People spoke English a little bit. It was freezing cold. It was minus 36 when I first landed in Russia.
I would have had to get back on that plane.
It was freezing, but it was an adjustment, it was, we were treated as such, things like that. I mean, a little things like you turn on the water sometimes and the pipes would be a little rusty, so the water would be yellow. You just have to let it run. Yeah. You learn to vibe. But in China, it's just a cultural shock. I can't explain it. And we weren't going on like the world tour like you see like Ja Moran and Sabrina Ionescu and all of those people. I mean, Ann Edwards going. We weren't staying at the state-of-the-art hotels in Shanghai. Like, we were kind of roughing it. And so to be in those like little big cities and have to figure out like food and just everything. That was one of the most difficult, most trying periods of like my life. And I think just my daughter was with me, my wife was with me, my mom was. So it was really challenging. So I'd say China. Turkey was easy. There's Americans everywhere.
Everyone always talks good about
really
Turkey.
Amazing
Everyone's
vibe.
always like they love Turkey.
Istanbul, and it's got the Asian side and the European side. Like we did the little Salt Bay restaurant. Like there were amazing there's amazing shopping. Like I could get down. Honestly, I could live in Istanbul. But China was a little bit more difficult. So I am looking for all of those out there to send me an itinerary because I really want to re-experience China. I just have a different experience and I want to go back. I want to take my daughter there and like really experience the good of it because I just don't have great memories of it.
Okay. All right. Well,
will you go with me?
We can go to China together. I was literally gonna say that. We can go to China together.
Okay. We're gonna hit up Hong Kong though. We're gonna go south first.
We're just gonna go.
Then we'll make our way back up.
It's now time for You Got This, presented by Adidas. There's nothing like a great assist to help us remember you got this. Learn more about the You Got This message at adidas.com/YouGotThis and follow the action on Instagram at Adidas and at AdidasUS. Every week, we're going to shout out someone who showed up, rose to the occasion, or made their moment count, whether it's a player, a coach, or even someone we saw online. If it inspired us, it's getting a shout out. So this week, my You Got This moment has to go to Asia. A 30-point, 20 rebound performance. I mean, first in WNBA history. That's crazy. That's really crazy work.
And you forgot 5 assists, 2 steals, 52% from the field, 13 for 25. Dominant performance as the Aces won 94-86 over the Sun. I mean,
that was crazy.
I watched the game and it was like a part of me was looking at like my generation of players passing the torch because Tina Charles was on the other side of a lot of that 32-20. And I remember Tina Charles used to be on the other side and be kind of scratching the surface of the 32-20 from a post standpoint. A'ja Wilson, we know her ability to score, but as a tenacious rebounder that got extra possessions for her team. I don't know how many of those 20 were offensive rebounds, but I saw a number of them. This wasn't like a blowout. This wasn't an easy win.
No, this was a close game.
This was a close game.
I mean, at some point, the Sun were up 10, I think, before halftime, or it was tied at halftime. It was a tight game.
100%. And I just think that, obviously Asia's gracious in saying that, she's kind of the first to do it, but won't be the last, and all of that. But that is a stat sheet.
Yeah, that was a crazy stat line. That was a crazy stat.
She's going to be able to tell her grandkids, like, listen, I got 32 and 20. But I will say that the Aces have needed all of that. The Aces go as far as A'ja Wilson and Jackie Young go. They've won 4 straight to improve to 18 and 14, and they are at 6 in the league. I think it's kind of surprised some individuals about the ups and downs. And I will say, just from watching the Aces, I think a lot has had to do with their bench. They've had a consistent bench the last 4 years. You look at Sydney Colson, you look at Alicia Clark departing. That's a huge part of your veteran leadership that, is an adjustment. Obviously, Kelsey Plum was able to kind of play those backup point guard minutes when Chelsea was out. So it does take a team a little bit of an adjustment to move forward, but obviously they seem like they're kind of steering the ship in the right direction. But A'ja Wilson, 3-time MVP, 30 career games with at least 30 points, tied for 3rd all-time with Brianna Stewart. That's crazy. The rivalry. It's going to be fun.
That was crazy. But that was my You Got This moment, presented by Adidas. Back to you next week, Candace.
All right, it's time for one of our favorite parts of the show. This is Unfiltered Fan Questions, powered by Uncrustables. Find Smucker's Uncrustables in the freezer aisle. Learn more at uncrustables.com. All right, we got a ton of great questions coming in, so please keep them coming. My first question to Aaliyah from illustrious Act 6171. When did the pregame routine start with Caitlin Clark? What is the backstory behind her hugging you before each game?
I mean, it really just started one game where we just gave each other a hug, and she was like, "You're going to be amazing because you are amazing." And then I said it back, and we've just done it every game. Even though she's been out for a while, like, I make sure I get my pregame hug. I think it's just nice to kind of just give that confidence to each other before every game, and we just continue to do that.
That
So
1-2
cute.
punch confidence. I bet you guys won that game too, because you know, like
Yeah,
it's you got to keep
You're just
that.
ready to go. You just feel it. You're like, you know what? I am gonna be amazing.
Yeah, but you're like, after a dominant double performance, you're like, we hugged, so we're gonna hug next game.
So we're
and
gonna
they're
hug
again
and
again.
we keep going because you know how I feel about that. Like we're never gonna stop hugging. Okay, question for you, Candace, from Boldly B. Candace, you've been a mentor for so many players, and Aaliyah, you're now a foundational piece for your team. What's the most valuable piece of advice that's been passed down to you, and how have you either adapted or seen it change for the next generation of players?
It's as simple as like confidence is key. And you get your confidence through repetition, through practice, through looking at yourself in the mirror. And one of my most amazing mentors was the late, great Kobe Bryant. And he always talked about, the way that you get your percentages up and your belief in taking those shots is to practice them over and over and over again until the next shot has to go in. And it's that mentality that I think that this generation of players is you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to be able to kind of like tune out the noise, the naysayers, the people that say you can't, because guess what? Everybody says you can't until you do it. And then everybody's congratulating
like, "Oh my
you and
gosh,
patting you on your back.
yes."
Exactly. And so, you're crazy until you show that it works. And that's in between the lines and also outside the lines. And so I'm just proud of this generation of players because I feel like they're unapologetic in who they are and what their craft is. And I love it. So yeah, that's a really great question, Boldly B. My next question is from Superman 24/7 42. It's for you, Aaliyah. Has anyone dunked on anyone in practice yet?
Oh, no one has gotten dunked on, but we keep telling KK to just dunk the ball. Like every single time, like KK, if she gets a wide open lip, we're like, dunk it. We're like, why don't you just dunk it? And she jumps and she like will finger roll it right over the front of the rim, and her hand is like already touching the rim. I'm like, girl, just dunk it one time. Just once.
Well, this is a hot take, not very much of a hot take. I think Malanga is going to get one down before the end of the year. I think she's going.
As long as it's not near the fever, we good.
Listen, I have been in a game when BG got us. She got us on a breakaway. I'll never forget. I was out front and I saw her get the steal, and I was like, it was in the playoffs too. Oh man, I was so mad. But anyway, I think my money's on Malanga. I think she's gonna get one.
All right. So my question for you, from Flute to Boot.
Wait, rewind that. What's the name?
Flute to Boot.
Oh, I like that.
Flute to Boot. I like it a lot. You mentioned wanting to talk about the hard stuff. What's one struggle you've had as a professional athlete that fans might not see or understand?
The hardest thing to get fans to understand is sometimes what you're doing on the court is what your coach wants you to do. That's something that you're willing to give up.
Yep.
And everyone, you have this pride element of like, the way that you would guard this player one-on-one, but the scouting report of what your team is supposed to do.
You're right. Absolutely.
And so the hardest thing as a professional athlete is not scream from the rooftops that this is what my coach is trying to get me to do. We are giving up the pull-up jump shot. So therefore, as a post player, I'm not supposed to come up and contest a pull-up jump shot. That is actually the guard, and that is actually what we're willing to give up. We want to give up long contested twos.
Exactly.
But your pride is just like, I cannot let this person get 25.
I can't, not on my head either.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and then everybody's talking about how you
you got scored on, no.
So that is the biggest struggle that I think people don't understand, is that sometimes the game plan is to give somebody 30 because you're going to stop everybody else.
As long as no one else scores the ball. It's so funny when coaches say that, and then it's just so unfortunate when it's like your person. When they're like, you know what, we're okay if they have 30, because I'm like, I'm not.
But I'm also not going to give you 30. But I'm supposed to help and over-recover, and then I'm recovering back. It's so funny because I was just at an Amazon, summit, and everybody was there, and Udonis Haslem is talking about Dirk Nowitzki and how he had to guard him out of the pick and roll. And he was just popping, just hitting that thing, just hitting it, just shooting that thing. It was draining in. And he was just looking at the bench like, this is not the plan. You know what I mean? And I feel him on that, because there have been so many times where I'm like, I should not be recovering back to Brianna Stewart for 3. Like, this cannot be the plan.
Like, how about we stunt and full rotate? Let's just full rotate.
Like,
I'll
help
go somewhere
me
else.
out.
Help
because
me.
Everybody's going to come for me. The Twitter trolls and everything are going to come for me talking about Candace don't play defense. And it's like, no, this is the game
that's part
plan.
of the scout.
That's a coach. I'm actually buying into the game plan. Yeah. Sorry. Now I'm going to be an angry person on all of these little clips. But anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah. Moving on. All right. Question from Sarah C317. What was the biggest adjustment coming out of college to the WNBA?
Ooh, the biggest adjustment was definitely the physicality. That was the biggest adjustment for me, especially being a post player. Like, you're playing games and you're getting hit crazy, and there's literally not a whistle in sight. There's not a whistle near you. There's nothing. Like, I still remember when I first stepped foot in the league, and the first big I played against was Big T. I say it all the time. And I had 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes. And then I was playing against Bree Jones. And then I was like, dang, no one see me getting fouled? Because I think I'm getting fouled. But they're like, no, this is the big leagues. You're not really getting fouled, finished through contact. So that was definitely my hardest adjustment, because I was like, there's nothing more tired than like getting beat up on one end and then you're going on the other end and they're running horns and your person's rolling you down and you're behind them and there's nothing you can do except for foul them, and now you have 3 fouls, you know?
I would feel sorry for you. I really would. I would feel sorry for you.
I'm talking about as a rookie. Why would you not feel sorry for me as a rookie?
I would feel really sorry for you. However, I was in practice my rookie year and Michael Cooper put me on the white team. And it was all a part of the plan. I already knew this. As soon as he switched my jersey, I knew it. And he kept Delisha and Lisa on the other team. And they just took turns beating the shit out of me. Like, I would go to the hoop and nobody would call a foul. And everybody would just run down the court. And I remember just looking like, oh, this is what y'all are on something. So
this is what you guys, this is your plan.
That
this
was my
plan
practice.
all along.
So, I mean, at least yours were games. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
yours were like really refs that really had gone to like reffing school and all that stuff. Mine was like, this is assistant coach that had a whistle that he never put it in his mouth.
That he never blew it.
Yeah, never blew it. All right, that does it for our unfiltered fan questions powered by Uncrustables. Keep the questions coming. Drop us a DM, comment on YouTube. We really want to hear from y'all. Aaliyah, that's a wrap. I mean,
it. Episode 3?
Episode 3.
Oh.
Yes, jersey number in the house.
Oh, that was good. That was smooth.
You like that?
That was smooth.
All right, well, we hope you're enjoying. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow Post Moves Show on socials.
And
That's
don't forget
2 S's.
5-star reviews. 5-star reviews.
5.
You know how we end it. Bow, bow, bow.
Bow.